This is the World Organic News for the week ending 8th of October 2018. John Moore reporting. Decarbonise the air, recarbonise the soil. Quick note to let you know I'm co-hosting a new podcast that hits the feed on the 15th of each month. It's called Permaculture Plus. There's a link in these show notes to the website and the Apple Podcast page. I'd urge you all to have a listen and let me know what you think. Thanks. And now a little bit of housekeeping, just to let you know that Mrs. World Organic News and myself are coming to the conclusion of our Irish adventure, and we will be travelling back to the Antipodes. I'll be doing my best to get an episode out next week, but it may be an impossibility. I'll do what I can, but don't be surprised if I miss next week's episode. So I begin this week with a piece entitled Energy Storage with Concrete Blocks from Craig McGrath's blog. This is essentially a variation on the pumped hydro model of energy storage. What occurs in the scaled-down demonstration model, there's a video in the link on the show notes, is that excess energy is used to lift concrete blocks to height and keep them there until electricity is required. The blocks are then dropped under gravity, running the electric motor that lifted the blocks backwards, in air quotes, and thus generating electricity. This is such a simple idea and so remarkable in that simplicity. Pumped hydro is very location dependent. The geography has to be just right. This system can be set up anywhere. From an article in Quartz quoted by Robert McGrath's blog, quote, "On a hot July morning I travelled to Biasca, Switzerland, about 2 hours north of Milan, Italy, where Energy Vault has built a demonstration plant. About a tenth the size of a full-scale operation. The whole thing, from idea to a functional unit, took about 9 months and less than $2 million to accomplish. If this sort of low-tech, low-cost innovation can help solve even just a few parts of the huge energy storage problem, maybe the energy transition the world needs won't be that hard after all." End quote. Indeed, this sort of simple solution is what we need more of. Engineers, and most occupations for that matter, tend to be stuck in ideas that have already been proved. Pumped hydro springs to mind, as does the spray and plough in agriculture, but alternatives are possible. In fact, during my time here in Killorglin, acting under the instructions of the farm owner, I've pulled more weeds and dug more soil in the last month than I have in the last 20 years. An instructor of mine reminder of more of the benefits of no-dig gardening. Continuing the energy theme is a post from the blog Curiosity Alive entitled Unlimited Energy, Are Oceans the Key to Future? Quote, "Typically there are two types of energy we can extract from the ocean. 1. Thermal energy. Oceans cover more than 70% of the Earth's surface, making them the world's largest solar collectors. The sun's heat warms the surface water a little more than the deep ocean. This temperature difference creates thermal energy. One small part of heat trapped in ocean water can power the entire world. 2. Mechanical energy. A barrage or dam is typically used to convert tidal energy into electricity by forcing the water through turbines activating a generator for wave energy conversion, and it's available forever." End quote. The thermal idea is one I haven't come across before, and the temperature difference approach to energy harvesting is again so obvious. Technically, it may be more difficult than mechanically harvesting the energy of the oceans, but then again, I may just be sticking to what I already know and understand. I'm sure there's engineers out there capable of finding a suitable solution. The difficulty of working with oceans is their salinity, size, and variable surface movements. The salinity can wreck structures, as can the variable movement of the ocean surface. These things have been solved in a design sense with offshore oil rigs as an example, but the maintenance costs can be high. Toss electricity into the water mix, so to speak, and another level of complexity arises. Again, undersea cables prove this is solvable, but again, complexity and hence cost. The rising sea levels associated with climate change may also put shore-based generation at some risk. All that being said, the perpetual movement of the oceans offers many opportunities for energy collection. As it is put in the blog, quote, "So what makes this ocean energy so amazing? 1, it's attainable from any part of the ocean, literally. We can harvest energy from onshore, offshore, in the middle of oceans, on surface, and deep inside water. Anywhere in the ocean, you name it. 2, tidal wave energy has the highest energy density. It means we can get larger quantities of energy from smaller areas compared to all other renewable energy sources. 3, no fuels are needed to make it. It's absolutely environmentally friendly as greenhouse gas emission is 0. That means no need to burn anything for electricity. Plus, it does not create any solid or liquid waste products. 4, tides are more reliable than wind or solar energy. Wind and solar-based systems suffer from uncertainties of energy outputs. But for the tides, we can predict easily and we know the patterns. It is more reliable to use than the others. 5, it's unlimited and free. As are all renewables, this is unlimited and never-ending source of energy, end quote. There is much then to recommend harvesting energy from the oceans, and these outweigh the technical difficulties. Scale should overcome the extra costs associated with offshore or even coastal installations. And on that note, I'll draw this episode to a conclusion. Remember, decarbonise the air, recarbonise the soil. As a podcast listener, you may be thinking of producing your own podcast, but you're not sure where to begin. Drop over to mrjohnmoore.com, link in the show notes, and sign up for the new Podcasting Quick Start mini course. Starts on the 15th of October, when all the material will be released. I'll be covering the minimum you need to get your voice out to the world for the least amount of cash. You can test the waters and see if podcasting is a thing you'd like to add to your life. Details at the website, mrjohnmoore.com, and link in the show notes. A transcript of this entire episode is available at worldorganicnews.com. Thanks for listening, and I may be back next week.